May the 13th, 2020, Bitcoin prices are moving up. We can see that the longs are increasing, but the shorts are putting some good pressure on today. I'm excited about doing a short video today because I want to get back to focusing on the course that I'm doing. I'm putting together all the highlights of this video that I've been doing for the last year and a half on all of these indicators and really cut it down to exactly the things that I have found to work at the best times. And we've got some killer examples. And I want to be sure that you are ready for that video course when it comes out. So be sure that you have finished the free webinar over on the website so that you are ready for what's coming next. Before we jump into the indicators for Bitcoin, I want to take a quick look at the metals. I'm looking at platinum prices here. I want to take a look at gold prices, how they are building up and look like they're breaking out with Bitcoin there in the background. And take a look at silver prices, also making a similar formation to what all of the alt versus US dollar pairs are making right now. So let's quickly run through the routine. We're looking at the weekly relative strength index, looking good, holding strong. It's not fading off and sliding down for the bearish view. Let's go into the daily. This is nice that it's held a bottom here. So long as we keep above this bottom as prices are moving up, then we have lots of room for it to go up and up and up and up from this level as we are going through the crazy bullishness. The 12-hour time frame doesn't tell us much more than the daily. The 4-hour gives us a new line to be watching here, especially as it's coming up to break these levels. If it's breaking higher, you just got to go with it. This is a real good confirmation. On the daily time frame, it gives us another watch level that when this line breaks, if we are making a top formation, that would be important to pay attention to, more so than the divergence here. Here on the on balance volume, I just want to take the long-term perspective here, and then I'm going to go into the USDT volume here and just zoom in. As we're zooming in, we can watch on the daily time frame how this volume was steady all the way along, and we have a little bit of dumping going on. You can see the 12-hour time frame where our 1, 2, 3 formation was. We're still seeing dumping at the end here, though. It hasn't changed on this time frame. The 4-hour is still dumping with a lot less dumping coming up. But as we go into the 1-hour time frame, this is when we start to change. And I want to point out what I call the zipper. This is an important fight in the market, that the volume is right on the edge going back and forth with a fight. When one side loses, not only are they correct and everybody starts piling on, but everybody who was wrong now must close their positions. So there are two forces in the market working for you if you're on the right-hand side. Those that are being correct and the force of those who are wrong having to switch and change their positions. When we go to the weekly MACD, this was making me crazy bullish, and now I'm just as crazy bullish, especially as we're seeing these same three things setting up here. These histograms are setting up very nicely, and should they continue on the smaller time frames, this is incredibly powerful. I can't even put the projection on it. So the daily will oscillate in a big uptrend. Let's move back here so that we can see that the daily MACD will oscillate in the uptrend. It'll oscillate back, and so it's not as reliable an indicator that it's crossed. We could just be going sideways. What we're watching for now for this is that it crosses back. Wherever it crosses back, that's going to be juice. We'll see that it's crossing back by the shorter time frames. They'll cross first. They're the head of the snake, basically. And let's move into the 4-hour. It has already crossed. So now we're watching for that cross to move its way back through the time frames. We could probably watch it on the 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, 9, 10-hour bars if you could pull them up. But the 4-hour and the 12-hour, we'll watch that sequentially pull out. And as that's happened, we can expect that our exponential moving averages are going to start crossing on these different time frames as well. And since it's verifying the 1, 2, 3 formation here, then we can give ourselves a nice risk to reward ratio for entries. Start off small, add on when you're correct. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So now it would be watching for this to flare wider, the 4-hour to be flaring wider, the 12-hour to cross, and we know that it's all unfolding and that the pressure really is going upward. Of course, you always want to have your risk control rules to protect yourself against what is unexpected. Let's go into the weekly, because this had given me the sort of the bearish view when the blue line crossed below the red and spread wide. But as you can see now, it is recrossing to the bullish. As we go into the daily, it's still bullish and will stay that way. It gives a lot of range. In the 12-hour, we do see that it has crossed to the first stages of a potential bearish. The further the blue line moves away from the red, the more bearish it is. And as we come through the cloud and the cloud twists red and the trailing indicator cuts through everything, then it's all the confirmations. But for now, it could be setting up into the buy signal in the uptrend, which the Ichimoku is famous for me, is coming into these areas and confirming if it is a buy signal in the uptrend or a sell signal in the downtrend. When we go into the 4-hour time frame, just like the MACD, this acts like, the head of a snake to me, that the 1 hour and the 4-hour will cross first, and it'll pull the 12-hour and the daily up along with it. Oh my goodness, the first time I see this chart, I'm starting to see the first stages of this turning to an uptrend in all of the bands. We're holding above the midline. That is bull season. Every time we're above that midline, that is bull season. And we're holding it there. Let's zoom in to see what's going on. On the daily time frame, we're holding above the midline. We're holding above the long exponential moving average and gaining some strength there. Let's zoom in. 12-hour time frame. 2 light mean reversions there. That they came below the second standard deviation and moved their way back up is a mean reversion trade. It is up to the mean now. It is up to the median, so that trade would be finished, but interesting to see it in the charts now. So in the 4-hour time frame, this was the main mean reversion that I saw that was strong. And then we saw a couple smaller ones that were verified in the 1-hour time frame. Now we are breaking, if we call these all like the 3 touches of death or the number 1 point, this would be the 1, 2, 3 and the confirmation of here. So had you bought in out of the major 1, 2, 3 and taken the signals here or even this signal here, this would be a great add-on place for the trade right now. And I do want to comment that on the 4-hour Bollinger Bands, we are running the rail, which is the uptrend. As we're staying right along that second standard deviation, we're running the rail. That is on its way up. That's verification of bull to me. And I wanted to just pull up the hourly to reflect on these mean reversion trades as we went narrow and we're breaking out of the 1, 2, 3. So all of these things are confirmations. They layer on top of each other. And there are more exact examples like this in the course that I'm putting together on the top formations and the bottom formations. And as you know, not all of the tops and the bottoms are exactly the same. There are some differences that are really important for us to know when to be taking profit and how to tell if we should be sitting still and adding on. Let me finish up with Bitcoin dominance. It is rising. It bounced off this trend line and continued moving higher. I am always watching for the top formations in dominance. I'm always mapping it out specifically so that I can know exactly which coins to be getting into as this unfolds and goes the other way. I want to take a look at the number of alerts in Binance right now. We have 8 of them and 5 of them are new. We have 12 coins that are in hold stance. 2 of those are new. When I look through the neutral status coins and I check all the charts, there are about 30 of these that are above support and resistance from the past and making wonderful 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. For my own part, I think one of the most powerful things about the bull market watch is not only telling us which coins are transitioning from neutral and going through that bottom formation and starting to take off, but it also gives us the idea of when to be getting out of the trades. We can see that we were moved from a full alt position down to a full Bitcoin position by the 29th of February. And we have been in almost full Bitcoin position from that time. Probably about 10% of our allotted Bitcoin that should be in alts is allotted right now. And the other 90% is in Bitcoin where it should be when Bitcoin dominance is rising. So if you want to know where you should be, not just on the way down as Bitcoin dominance is dropping, when to get out of it, the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet keeps you in the know all the way along. That'll wrap it up for today's episode. Just a quick look at the 3 charts. We can see that the MACD is flaring wider. The Bollinger Band is continuing to stay up along the top edge. Our Ichimoku cloud on the 1-hour time frame is turned to a bullish signal. It all looks good from here. Be sure you have your stop losses up above your entry as soon as you can to protect your assets. Thanks again for being here. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you over on Discord because the conversation never ends. Thanks again. Bye for now.